and welcome to this 15-minute practice, which is yoga for mid-back pain. So if you are tight and sore around that area in between your shoulder blades or maybe underneath the shoulder blade, this practice should help ease that pain. I'm going to get you in a seated position. So you can sit on a chair if it's not comfortable to sit on the floor. And we're going to start off with a little bit of a posture cue or a posture tip to take pressure off your mid-back. So place one hand on your breastbone and then one hand just above your belly button. And imagine your breastbone being lifted up and away from your belly button. So if you think about your thorax or your whole rib cage a little bit like a spring or a slinky, sometimes when it gets tight, the spring gets all compressed and the springs get stuck together. And what we're doing with this posture cue is just pulling the springs apart and creating space again. So one hand on your breastbone or one hand just above your belly button, and think about that breastbone lifting up and away from your belly button. And then when you're here, bring both hands down to the lower rib cage, and you're going to breathe in through your nose and feel that belly expand into your hands. And then breathe out through your nose or mouth. Now you're going to go for 3 more breath cycles here. Breathing in through the nose, lower belly or lower rib cage expands. And then breathing out through the nose or mouth. 2 more breath cycles here. And last one. So that was breathing into the front of our rib cage. Now we're going to try breathe into the back of the rib cage. So we're going to place our left hand on the ground and we're going to reach our right arm up towards the ceiling and then reach it over, and like it's reaching across over your left knee. So we should get a stretch in our right lower back. And then if you want to bring your attention a little bit more to the ribs, you can take that left hand and bring it around your back and place it on the back of your right rib cage. When you breathe in, think about sending your breath down deep into the back of the right lung. And as you breathe out, just soften into the stretch. You should be able to move a little further. Breathing in through the nose, down deep into the back of the right rib cage. And breathing out, softening into the stretch a little bit more. Last one here. And then bring the right hand down beside the right leg. Reach your left arm up towards the ceiling. And then reach it up and over the right knee. Maybe you need the support of the right hand on the ground. If you do, that's fine. If you don't, take it, bring it around your back and place it on the back of the left rib cage. You're going to breathe in through your nose down deep into the back of the left rib cage and then breathe out through your nose or mouth. See if you can feel that left rib cage expand into your hand. It'll be a little bit harder to feel than the front of your tummy expanding. So a smaller movement is what you're looking for. Last one. And then coming on to all fours. And we're going to do a cat-cow exercise, which you might be familiar with. So this guy. But you're going to focus your attention on your mid-back, initiating all the movement. So focus your brain on your breastbone, give it a tap if you need to, bring your attention to that area. Imagine a light shining out of your breastbone, and in this position it's shining straight at the floor. As you inhale, think about your light moving forward towards the top of the mat and then pointing towards the wall in front of you. So you're lifting that breastbone up. And then as you come back, think about that light being pulled down the wall back onto the mat. And it's traveling along the mat until it shines between your knees. Again, inhale, move that light by moving your breastbone forward. It goes through your hands towards the top of the mat. As the breastbone lifts, imagine the light shining at the wall in front of you. And then on your breath out, pull the light back to the mat between your hands until it shines between your knees. And do 3 more of these in sync with your breath. So a cat-cow, where we're focusing on moving your mid-back area. And last round. And then come back to neutral, so that light's pointing down between your hands. And you're gonna come off your right hand and you're gonna take your right foot up. Place it where your right hand was. Bring your hands to your hips and come up into a low lunge position. And from here, we're going to practice another little posture cue that's really useful for your rib cage. So oftentimes we're all tight at the back of the rib cage, so our mid-back gets a bit achy, and we flare our ribs at the front. Place your hands on your lower ribs and imagine two straps going from your lower ribs down to your hips. You're going to tug those lower ribs down and in. If you place one hand on the front of the ribs and one on the back, you'll notice as you pull the front ribs down and in, you'll create space in the back of the rib cage, or it'll take tension away from it. Cool, so try that a few times yourself. Definitely use your hands. It's very hard to know what's going on in this area of our body without a little bit of touch. So pull the ribs down and in. And then from here, once you've got the hang of that, pulling the ribs down and in, at the front, you're going to go into your hip flexor stretch. So reach your left arm up and reach it over to the right slightly. You can place your right hand, if you're happy to balance, on the left side of your rib cage and think about breathing into the side and the back of the rib cage on that left side. 2 more breath cycles here. And then bring that left hand down towards the ground. Fingertips or palm of the hand can go on the ground. And you're going to have that palm of the hand, if you're on your fingertips, facing towards your right foot. Place your right hand along your left and slide it up your left arm onto your breastbone. And then you're going to twist over to the right, straightening your arm if it's comfortable. Otherwise, keep your hand on your breastbone. And as you breathe out, bring that right arm back down past your breastbone and slide it all the way back down to the mat. Going to do 2 more like that. So inhale, sliding the hand up your arm to your breastbone, turn. And then once you've turned as far as you comfortably can, you can straighten the arm. And then exhale to come back down. And last one. Then we're going to tuck the back toes underneath, bring our hands to our hips, and come up into a nice high lunge position. Again, if you tend to be tight through your mid-back, you'll probably lean back into it when you come up. So let's lean forward, put your hands on the front of your rib cage and think about pressing it in or tugging it down towards your hips. Keep one hand on the ribs, and then see if you can just straighten up from your hips. So you don't lean back into your mid-back again. And then from here, reach your left arm up and we're going to stretch that hip flexor again over to the right. Pull your left thumb back. And again, you can place your hands on that left side of your rib cage. So breathing in through the left side of the rib cage. Feel it expand into your hand and breathing out. And you're here for 2 more breath cycles. And then we're going to bring that arm down, hands on the hips. We're going to step forward. We're going to fold down towards the ground. On a breath in, you're going to lift up halfway. Press your hands into your shins. Lift up till your torso is like parallel to the floor. And then breathe out to fold forward again. Then press into your feet. Keep your knees nice and bent as you come all the way up into a mountain pose. I'm going to turn to face the camera. You can stay the way you are if you want. In your mountain pose, you're going to rotate from your arms so your palms face out. You're going to make sure those ribs stay pressed down again so you're not leaning back. And then you're going to bend so your thumbs come to your shoulders. Bend the elbows so the thumbs touch the shoulders. Inhale to reach the arms up and out to the side. And exhale as they come back down. Straighten by your side and let the arms roll in. So roll the arms out so the thumbs face out. Bring the thumbs to your shoulders. And then inhale to reach up and out. And exhale to bring the elbows back to your waist. Drop the arms down and let the shoulders roll in. And just do 2 more. So roll the arms out, so thumbs out. Bring the thumbs to your shoulders. Inhale to reach up and out. And then exhale to bring the elbows back to your waist and let the arms just flop by your side. Last one. So this gets all the muscles that attach to our ribs and our chest from our shoulders moving. And then relax the arms, fold forward. You're going to place your hands on the mat and come back onto all fours. And we're going to go back to our cat-cow. So you're going to inhale as you lift the breastbone up and exhale as you round the breastbone and pull it back towards your knees. If you imagine that little light or laser beam moving forward along your mat to shine at the wall in front of you, and then pulling back along the mat to point between your knees. 2 more in sync with your breath. And then we're going to lighten our load on the left hand. Bring your left foot forward. Come up into your low lunge position. Again, back to this little cue. Pull the front of the rib cage down to create space at the back. And then reach your right arm up towards the ceiling and over to the left slightly. You should feel a stretch in the front of your right hip. If you don't, pull your right arm back a little bit. Reach or tuck your tailbone down a little bit. And then 3 breaths into this right side of the rib cage. Then place the right arm on the ground, palm facing in towards your left leg. You can just have the fingertips. And then get your left hand and slide it along that right arm until it comes up to your breastbone, and then start to turn your chest to the left and then straighten out the left arm if it's comfortable to. Bend the left arm, hand will come back to your breastbone and slide back down to the ground. 2 more. Breathing in as you slide the arm to the breastbone, twist. Straighten the arm if it's comfortable. Breathing out to slide back down. If you need to add in an extra breath cycle, do. Doesn't make a huge difference. Last one. Then you're going to tuck the back toes underneath. We're going to lift the back knee up. Bring our hands to our hips. See if you can balance here for a little second. See if you can bring your hands to the ribs. Hug the ribs in. Maybe place your hand on your mid-back. And when you straighten up, I don't want this area to move. So can you get all the movement, all the levering up through your hips? So your mid-back doesn't have to do any work. And then from here, once you've got your chest, your trunk right over your hips and pelvis, reach your right arm up towards the sky, pull the right thumb back, and reach over to the left slightly. You should feel a stretch in the front of that right hip again, and 2 breaths into the side of the rib cage here. Then lower the arm, step both feet forward, fold forward, a nice bend in your knees, and a breath in takes you up into a halfway lift. As you exhale, fold forward again, and then inhale to come all the way up into your mountain pose. I'm just going to face the camera so you can see. You're going to rotate your arms out so the thumbs face out. Bring your thumbs to your elbows. Inhale to reach the arms up and out. Exhale to bring them back. Drop them down and let them roll back in. 2 more here. Roll the arms out so the thumbs face out. Inhale to reach the arms out nice and wide. As you're doing this, make sure that you don't end up leaning into your mid-back. So keep those ribs tucked ever so slightly. And last one. Then relax the hands, soften the knees, fold forward all the way. Keep the knees bent. Come onto all fours. This time you're going to put your knees nice and wide on the mat. Last little pose that we're going into. Bring your bum back towards your heels and bring your hands down, or your forehead down onto the mat. When you're here, focus on taking a deep breath in through your nose, down deep into the bottom of your lungs. You'll feel your belly expand. And then sigh out through the mouth. Breathing in through the nose, down deep into the belly. And sigh out through the mouth. And one more like this. Then take your left hand, place it just outside the edge of your mat. Place your right hand on top of it and rest your head down onto your right arm. Now we're going to focus for the next 3 breaths, breathing into the right side of the rib cage. So as you breathe in, think about that space between your right armpit and kind of right hip opening up and expanding on your breath in. And then just allow your body to rest into the ground on your breath out. 2 more breaths here, breathing in through the nose. Think about that expansion from your right armpit all the way down to your right hip. Breathing out, letting the tension go and letting your body rest into the ground. Last one. Then bring the hands over to the right edge of the mat. Left hand on top, rest your head down. And then we're breathing into that left side. Taking a breath in through the nose, filling up that left lung. Breathing out, letting all your tension go and your body rest heavy into the mat. 2 more breath cycles here. And last one, breathing in, feeling that left side of the rib cage expand. Breathing out, letting the tension go. Bring your hands back to the center, come up into a seated position, and just check back in with your 2 little posture cues that we did in this class. So 1, hand on breastbone, hand on belly button. Lift your breastbone away, so we're creating space. And then 2, bring 1 hand to the front of the ribs and 1 hand to the back of the lower rib cage. And just press the front in a little, so you're creating space at the back. And you're all done.